This is one of my favorite fruits. This is jackfruit. It's called the king of fruits. You can see the outer size. It's a huge fruit. One probably it's not probably it is the largest fruit um, out there. I mean, durians are pretty big. Breadfruits are pretty big, but these guys can grow up to 100 pounds. So you definitely don't want to sit under the tree. Mainly grown in Southeast Asia, tropical places. They grow really great in drought and really well in hot temperatures. Really nutritious for you. You may have even seen, if you've been to like vegan vegetarian restaurants, that they use it as like a pulled pork almost. It kind of has that texture when you braise it down a little bit, cook it in liquid, which is braising. It gives it that pulled pork texture. And if you cook it in barbecue sauce, or I even cook it sometimes with like tomatoes and chipotle and some Southwest seasonings like cumin, a little bit of like oregano, things like that, it gives it that. You can smoke it as well. It gives it more of a smoky flavor. So it's a really great meat substitute for a fruit or vegetable. Either way, anything that's not a meat, it's really high in protein for the body weight. It's about per body weight. It's about 2% protein. So this one is just a quarter because it's so huge. I don't need a whole one. I can't eat it all, and it takes a while to kind of break it down. You can see here what it looks like. It has a white fibrous inside, and then the fruit is actually the yellow part. So if you get less ripe ones, they're going to be like, this is probably in between. So you can see these are darker yellow. The other ones will be even, the more ripe version will be really dark golden yellow, that's going to be sweeter. And you can see these are pretty. The light in the camera makes it look a little bit different, but these are more golden than they look. And the sweeter ones are really great in sweet dishes, ice creams. They are good in sweet sticky rice dishes. They'll do it a lot in Southeast Asia. When they're a little bit more yellow, which this one again is in between, so it's kind of a good mix of either. I could use it for sweet preparations or normal preparations. They are better in curries when they're more starchy. So it's a starchier fruit, like all fruits kind of start out starchier. And basically, the more starchier versions are great as pulled pork. They almost have like a pork. They have a pork texture when you braise it down and cook it a little bit. But this is what the fruit looks like. So you can see here, it's intact or kept in place by the fibers, and then you pull it out here. This is a really interesting fruit because you can eat the flesh, and they have these huge seeds inside. So you can see this is the seed is. Looks like this. The fruit you can eat on its own, cook it if you want. Seeds are actually edible, so you can see they're huge. Really big seeds. You can eat these. So they almost have like when you cook them, you basically cook them, bring them up and simmer or boil them in water for about an hour. And they have like a bean. It's like a texture between a bean and a nut, like a legume and a seed. But there's this little fiber. You can't really, I don't know if you can see it here. There's this little fiber on the outside. Once you cook it, that fiber just peels right off. And then the inside has it's like a cooked, as if you cooked like a macadamia nut or a hazelnut. It's kind of like that. It has a really nice flavor. You can put it in curries as well. I don't really do that. It's kind of time consuming. It's not that hard. It's just for what you get. I don't always find it enjoyable. But this is jackfruit, really high in potassium, antioxidants, protein, calcium, fiber. Great for you. Tastes delicious. You can get the starchier kinds, cook it in curry. The sweeter kinds, I'll still cook in curry as well. Or you can eat them plain, or put them in ice creams and yogurt in more sweeter preparations. Jackfruit. Forgot to mention, you can see I have oil on my hands. Jackfruit has this really kind of sticky substance that comes out with it, that comes off with it. It's impossible to get off your hands, not really, but it takes forever. You can even scrub it forever. You can use gloves, but I just put either like coconut oil. I'll put some coconut oil on my hands, or olive oil, and that way you can see the oil on my hands. I can dig it out. I don't get that sticky film on my hands. I can get it off. Otherwise, I've one of the first times I was working with Jackfruit years and years ago, I got that on my hands, and I scrubbed my hands 10 times, and it still had that kind of sticky, like, gross film on it. So that's just a recommendation. If you actually go and get it and want to check it out, either use gloves or put some oil on your hands first so you don't get that stickiness on you.